people see the votes, they saw the Senate vote, and they kind of think, okay, is the shutdown over? And then you hear, not yet, there's got to be more votes. And we want to take this and kind of break it down for you into what will likely happen today and then this week, and then kind of when the government opens and when things go back to normal. So, Mark, let's start with this. The Senate has done its work for now. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
So we move now to the House of Representatives. But very interesting, the majority for the Republicans shrinks before the next time they vote to even start debate on this final piece to reopen the government. Some of it which just kicks the can down the road till January, some of it which extends a year. We'll explain that in a bit. And we've explained that earlier this week too, but we can go over it again. But explain to people that kind of the numbers of where Republicans are right now.
Yes, the House had 3 current vacancies. One was an election that took place a few weeks ago in Arizona, and that member will be sworn in when the House reconvenes today at 4 o'clock. And that will take the numbers to 219 to 214. And what that effectively means is the Republicans can lose 2 votes. Two of their members can vote no on any bill, which would make it a 217, 216 vote. So their effective majority becomes 2 seats at 4 o'clock today.
Yeah, so you got a 2-seat majority, very slim. But on this vote, while we expect maybe 1 or 2 Republican defections at most, you also believe, Mark, that there will be a handful of Democrats that do support reopening the government this way?
Yes, I do think it'll be a small number. There are a handful of Democrats who are sitting in districts that Donald Trump won. There's a retiring member, for example, in Maine who actually voted for the bill back in September, Jared Golden. So there are a handful of Democrats who Republicans believe will come along on final passage. As you know, Jordan, there are some procedural things they need to do first. There's typically a partisan vote on what's called a rule in the House, which is how the House moves to consider a bill. That will take place first, and that's usually a straight party line vote. So Republicans will need their members here to get onto this bill, but on final passage, they think there could be a few Democrats that join them.
What are we looking for that vote? How long will that debate be? I mean, we're looking for days of debate, or could we actually see final passage on this getting to the president tonight or signed tomorrow morning early?
Right. The House Rules Committee came back yesterday and had an almost 6-hour session to get this ready for the House floor today. They'll do the swearing in around 4 o'clock, and then they'll move straight into consideration of this rule. That'll take about an hour. That debate is an hour. And then they'll have a series of votes. There's usually a procedural vote before they get to that vote. That will wrap up around 5:30 or 6, and then they'll move into 1 hour of debate on the actual continuing resolution, this spending bill. And they expect to wrap up sometime between 7 and 7:30. They'll have that last series of votes and be done by 8 o'clock tonight. And then there's some paperwork that has to take place before they can send it over to the White House. It's possible the president could still sign it late tonight or first thing tomorrow.
Okay, so then for the people out there who listen, support us, who have not gotten their paychecks and their back pay and things like that, how long does that usually take? Because I know even before the president signs it, the government can start saying, okay, here's your reopening plan. But are people, once this passes, can they kind of breathe a sign of relief and think at least the next paycheck they're supposed to get is going to be there?
What will happen next is the OMB will issue a very short memo that says essentially to the agencies, go ahead and reopen. That means that the heads of those agencies can direct their payroll people to start processing. That doesn't happen overnight, but it's going to happen. And then they'll call in all those workers that have been furloughed. 25% or so were furloughed. Most of the federal employees were working without a paycheck. Those people will be called back as well. But those plans are in place, and they're ready to implement them. I'm sure the memos have already been written. They just can't issue them yet.
I mean, so this is very good news for those who are in the federal bureaucracy who have been hurting. It's good news for the country because even like flights, I mean, it looks like if this goes through, Mark, because a lot of people are concerned about Thanksgiving travel, that the FAA will be able to get things back up and running to normal, which wasn't, it's not great anyways, but it's better than it is right now, before Thanksgiving travel. So that's huge. But we also know that most of this is going to have to be fought out again over the next 2 months.
Right. The FAA has said it'll take about a week to resume normal operations, so that should be just in time for kind of next weekend when people start flying for Thanksgiving. But yes, 3 of the bills are full-year bills that are going to be taken care of, but there are still 9 other annual spending bills that Congress is supposed to get done that will expire. This continuing resolution will expire at the end of January. There is a desire amongst many senators and House members to do full-year spending bills. I don't think there's an expectation that all 12, 3 plus additional ones, the 9 additional ones, will get done on time. But there is a desire to get the rest of those done as soon as they can so that we're not back at this again in February.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question, Mark. What are the odds, if you were making odds on this, that during a midterm election year that the Democrats are willing to shut down the government just a few months before people have to go vote for them potentially when the rest of the CR expires on January 31st?
I think it depends a lot on the progress over the next couple of months to see what they'd be willing to do in January. But I think they've gone down this road once. I'm not sure how much will there's going to be to do it again, but you never know.
I don't want to rub it in their face, Mark, but at the same time, at the end of the day, if you're a Democrat, what did you get from this? If this all passes, I mean, I guess you got that some of this will be redebated in January, but after this is the largest government shutdown ever, did they get anything in return for it?
They got to talk about health care. I think some of their members would say they got some advantages in the elections that took place last week. But on paper, they got nothing other than putting pain on the American people during this shutdown.
Yeah, that's what's key. They hurt the American people. They hurt the American economy. For their policy purposes, they got to talk about things. They maybe get to vote on things that the Republican majorities are not going to support anyways. But again, they're willing to do the longest shutdown ever. And eventually they cave and they fold, and they should take the blame. The blame should be on the left.